Week 4, final project for IPC, Interpersonal Communication, Full Sail University, year 2013, February 2nd. Welcome, Full Sail. My name is Shockley. This is my final assignment for IPC, which is Interpersonal Communication, part of our psychology class. I'm not one for script, but because it is an academic requirement, I will do so. What I've learned from IPC. My strengths. With existing spiritual presence I possess, what I have strengthened is the awareness of others and their perception of interpersonal communication. Although much different than my own, I've learned I must respect others around me, embrace their ethnic and cultural diversity with an open mind to expand my interpersonal communication socially as well as professionally. Improvement. One may ask, how is this done? It is not based on an academic subject matter. Rather, as what I have read concerning the metaphor, the peeling away the layers of the onion to reach one's core. What core, you may ask? The real you, the inner depth of your soul that defines the creature you were created to be, and how we socialize, interact, communicate between one another, whether through verbal or nonverbal means. And not to become totally dependent on technology to dictate how we communicate with cold, non-compassionate gadgetry, cell phones, computers. Nothing as heartfelt or passionate than to look someone in the eyes while you share your life story or love with them. Review. What are the messages we're sending while communicating with one another? For example, what channels we are using to get our point of view across to the other person. The question is, how willing are we to divulge who we truly are deep within, contrary to how it will be received by our peers, family members? Are we truly communicating with our heart and soul, or is it just surface? Communication to appease whoever we're in a conversation with, or expose our selfish intellectual pride. What we have come into grips with is, are we using the tools given to us by the enlightenment of interpersonal communication? Or are we still in this society remain isolated, recluse, in our own perception of what we believe communication is? Verbal communication has its sets of rules and regulations by using such things as multi-channels, being more meaningful in our daily conversations, influenced by cultural and gender differences, by using technology as a form of liberation to explore other areas to communicate. Have I personally reached all of my goals as a communicator? No. Not at all. But the main factor of my spiritual awareness of my inner being coincide with the fact of the metaphor used in interpersonal communication to peel away the layers to reach the core of you. Socrates once said, "To thine own self be true." True honesty of communication begins here. Self-awareness and respect for others' views, perceptions of communication. My blog on YouTube has addressed various topics of our social life, has opened a broad range of interpersonal communication skills, why I find myself reaching people across the globe I never communicated with before. The skills I now use are kinesics, vocalics, haptics, and awareness of prosthetics of a person's personal space while engaging in conversation. The one additional area which I have reached is in love relationships, the way in which I'm aware of how I handle conflicts. And I still believe I truly use all three areas here: avoiding, accommodating, and competing, depending on the circumstances or areas of conflict, whether it may be personal, financial, or domestic. In any relationship, these areas are the most sensitive and more likely to bring conflict in a relationship or marriage. At least it's my point of view. When I first discovered this class, I was excited because I always have been intrigued by people and their daily habits and activities, and to discover the inner being and, yes, ways of which they use to communicate. First and foremost, because we have an exceptional professor who I feel exemplifies a teacher with passion. Through this, one truly learns, and it leaves an irreplaceable impression on your heart as a human being. Interpersonal communication first starts with us as students, whether at home, in school, on our jobs, in college, or even traveling abroad. An open mind and truly using world-mindedness out of everything I've learned impressed me the most, because we live in a multicultural society with various ethnic groups to communicate with, which are so indifferent than our own. Yes, although they may not always respect our laws of personal space or communicate as we do, is this not why we communicate? Is this not why we communicate in the first place? Discover and explore other people and cultures besides our own? If we embrace the mentality of ethnic centricism, we truly have learned not one thing in this class, or to truly understand what true interpersonal communication is. We are yet still blinded by our own self-superiority that others are incompetent because they communicate differently than we do. I personally agree with Bush, Rose, Gilbert, and Ingram 2001 study, and Shaw, King, and Patel in 2004 their study concerning world-mindedness and attributional complexity. True awareness of other cultures, ethnic and gender differences in communication, we grow as a society. We now live in a society which ethnocentrism is too commonplace, socially, politically, religiously. We tend to be enslaved by separatism of fear of cultural and ethnic diversity. True communication, one must become socially colorblind and blind also to other cultural differences, and have an open mind to appreciate the beauty in us all, called humanity. Then and only then will we ever truly learn what interpersonal communication truly means. You can never put a price on education. You can never put a price on what you learn at a higher educational institution. What you can do, however, is whatever you learn, apply it in life. This means on your job, this means at home, this means on the streets, this means in coming in communication with different people while you travel abroad. Interpersonal communication, you're not going to learn in just one lesson. In fact, you're not going to learn within a master's degree. It's something we learn in life as we go on, as we grow, as we mature, as young children, young adults, older adults. It's something we have to practice every day to become aware of each other, whether it's verbal or nonverbal. Interpersonal communication is a lesson we all need to learn and practice throughout our lives. Thank you, Professor, for the IPC class. Your heart and passion for teaching meant a lot to me, and I've truly learned from this class. Truly have been inspired by you. Truly have been inspired of what I've read. And in closing, I look forward to use what I've learned in life to make me a better person, make me more respectful and sensitive to other people besides myself, whether it be ethnically, gender, or cultural. I too will learn how to communicate. That's it. See you guys in class. To my peers, love you guys. To Professor, love you. You're beautiful. And hope to see you soon. Bye.